As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Hello? What the heck? That's interesting.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
There we go.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Looks like we're out of the kitchen. Yep. So, I see this shit. Has this door been foamed up? I guess they don't want me to go in there.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
I really enjoyed that you can see my body. Usually it's just feet.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Like they just evacuated their house. So many books. Crap. Window to another room. Go upstairs. Zoom in.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Oh, great grandma, you scamp. Drilling holes. Hey, she really did just lock up every room, didn't she? Psycho lady. Oh, there it was. It's not there yet.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Barbara.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin? Let's go to the shark. That looks fun.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think my mom
this
sometimes
is-
regretted not sealing it up.
Where is this thing? No. Okay.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
We'll find out today. You gonna learn today.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Up. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Brother Milton.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Animal snouts. Is Barbara's room?
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
That's so weird. She really liked her name. Instead of her.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Oh, I thought that was it. That's fucked up. Just left the gerbil in here while everyone else left.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Everyone's up on fence. The 13th, 72.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Thought she was gonna eat the gerbil. I was scared.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Shit, I thought that was a real pumpkin. I thought she was just gonna start munching down on the pumpkin. Real fishy. Oh no. Did you think about eating the goldfish?
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Weirdo. Get away from the fish tank. We're not eating the fish. It's freaking weird. Hello?
Mom, can I come out now?
She locked me in my room.
It's late. Go to sleep.
Why am I locked in my room? Why am I in this cage of emotions? I'm starving, lady. I'm starving.
I kept eating and eating.
Ew. What the hell? Oh no.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Okay. If anyone knows that, those berries are poisonous. So don't eat them. Berries on mistletoe.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
This.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Oh, can I eat
I
you
reached
too?
out for her,
My window's changed shut too?
and suddenly,
Wow.
I was a cat.
I was a cat. I'm a motherfucking cat. I'm gonna get you. I'm
I
gonna get
tried to
you.
be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Hey. Hey. No. Where did that bird go? Oh, I see you. Yeah. Yeah. You
I
son of a
jumped
bitch.
and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was I gobbled her up,
Oh.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Did we hear nibbling? I don't see anything. Here. Oh, right here.
Rabbits.
getcha.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
I pushed the button too early.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Jeez, girl. Crazy. Oh my god. What is happening right now? Down the hill.
I
Oh, shit.
rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
I'm the predator.
I wanted
Oh, I
fat,
getcha.
juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
This girl's crazy. What? These controls are really weird. There you are.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What the fuck?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
What is happening right now?
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Oh, 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 okay.
I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
There we go. Just had to do some adjusting on the computer. Slurpee? Slurply? Crouch.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
There's one of these.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set
You
sail with his
bastard.
family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Whoa. This seems real gross. It's a lot of pink.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah. Carpet in your bathroom. Seems real gross. I believe, is this door gooed up too? Yeah. What the hell? Somebody locked a book to the bathroom wall? Is it really that bad of a book?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, what? Calvin Finch.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
This house is so cool. Get up. Fort Sam. Fort Calvin. Man. Command center. If I won the lottery, this is how my son's bedroom would look. I won the lottery, this is how my bedroom would look. Am I kidding?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
So this is your grandpa's room?
I guess
And
my
his
grandpa
brother's
didn't like
room?
history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Pump your leg. Why is he pumping a broken leg and not the normal leg? Oh, there he goes. Oh, I
My
gotta do
brother said
both
he'd die
feet.
before he ate another
Okay.
mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
Isn't that a tip?
Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Pump the legs.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Look, Mom, I'm trying to fly here.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Oh my god.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Oh,
The day he made up his mind to fly.
oh shit!
And he did.
Wow.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
What the hell? Okay.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Can I move on your side? It just comes to a bit.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
This takes me out to book somewhere. Where does this go? More Barbara.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
What's an hour in Barbara's room? Okay.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ew, imagine how long that's been sitting here. Dreadful stories.
Of all the stories people wrote about
Yes,
Barbara's
Barbara
death,
Finch.
I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale. inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Whoa.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh, am I doing this part? I am. Oh, very good, by the way.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Rick? Where you at, Rick?
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out,
Right.
but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Whispering is?
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
Poor Rick.
And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
I got it. Got me there, Pumpkinhead guy. You got me there. Yeah, scamp you.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So Barbara just disappeared? Got her ear cut off? By some crazy fan? Huh. Alright. Door's still shut. I looked at everything in here. Back into the chest.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Why is there soap in here? Should do her laundry in here? Alright, this takes me back out to the music box. Which is... let's see. The music... turn it up a bit. Up the brightness. So if I put this on YouTube like I plan on, it's gonna make it a little darker.
It's
And I
funny.
do have a YouTube channel.
All those
It's
times I
actually
played with the
linked.
music box and never found the basement key.
Where? Oh yeah, music box is downstairs. Forgot it was upstairs. There's an ear in this box.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
There's no creepy statues in here like
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
What?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Peaches.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just
Oh wow, I've been down here for a long
stopped.
time.
Whatever that thing was,
2005.
it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Can I look outside at my picture? Can't get there. Alrighty, let's world after 30 years. What? This guy.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Your whole family. Do we not go? Straight this way.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left.
Just for 30
Or a
years
month.
is a lot of pizzas.
Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Well, killed by a train 10 seconds after coming out
Walter
of his
died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Let's go check it out. I do like the fact that there's ladder on the door that connects to the rest of the line.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
So that's the mole man that the grandma said.
I don't
lived
want to
in
make the
house.
same mistakes she
That's funny.
made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
What? What?
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
There's the creepy sculptures that your dad made at the totem pole. Weird. Your grandpa? No, your dad. Somebody. Great grandpa? I don't know.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Oh, the goldfish.
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
And all of Grandma's birds. Chirpy, burpy, burpy, lurpy, zerpy. Derpy Jr. Dang. So many pets.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly Finch. Like how they all have like something on top of their gravestones that like matches their...
I'm sure Odin's
Thing that
monument had
built.
been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Is Milton Finch not dead, but they gave him one anyway?
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
I see.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now,
Just connect to the house. That's so cool.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing,
Dangerous.
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea. Leap. It's not walk on the glass. Do walk on the glass? What am I doing here? Screw it. Ladder.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Go through there just yet.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Alright. Let's go see what happened to old Sam.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Smile.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
Oh, that's interesting. What am I looking at?
Please just take the damn picture.
Oh,
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
Did you want to get a picture?
Smile, Dawn.
focus.
Okay, got it.
Focus.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Well, still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely... Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa's Fen taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Very interesting. What are you talking about?
We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Okay.
Let's see. Maybe. Or was it? It could have been.
Focus.
You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
What else am I supposed to take pictures of? Branches.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don.
Gotta check.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
There you are.
I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
Let's get the gun in there a little bit.
Great shot, Don!
Oh, that picture though. Whoa. Aw, she's sad. You taking a selfie?
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Oh, I'm him. Okay. It's like, I think the game froze.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Run. No, I'm stuck. Go, go, go,
Dad,
go.
it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh. Well, that's how Sam died. Jeez.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Alright.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Finch control. Oh no. We're gonna see
I
what
can't
happens
imagine my
when
mom ever
we're
writing poetry, and yet
family members soon. Huh. It's not up there just yet. Dang, they were like prepared in this house. I guess he was in the military, but jeez. What's that noise? Oh, Gregory. Or Gus. Let's go with Gregory first.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Jeez. This game, though. Well, yeah, Edie and Sanjay. I don't know if we'll learn about Sanjay and Sven. I guess we learned, or Ingeborg down there. I still gotta do Gus, Dawn, Lewis, Hilton. Find out what happened to them. And, yeah, Edie. Keep wanting to say Eddie. It's Edie. Alright. There's another death. This game is depressing, but interesting
poem
at
for
the same
Gus,
time.
who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Die. Sorry.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Huh. You, Dad. You. We don't need a stepmom. Let's go fly away. Just watched
Wind
Save
picked
Mr.
up,
Banks.
and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Supposed to.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said was, "Make the music louder."
Oh. Oops.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Alright. Another depressing death.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Up after I knew what that was, I totally regret doing that. So now I gotta climb back up. So cool. This house is neat. This computer brings me back to like elementary school with its floppy disk drive.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
So Sanjay's her dad. Probably don't.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
Guess I'm looking this way. Scientific method, I remember that. I haven't had to think about it in a long time, but I remember that.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Oh, I gotta go to the castle. Wish I had an art studio like this. That'd be sweet.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. was 4 when Milton disappeared.
So we need Dawn, Lewis. I guess the people with the Leafs, you'd know what happened because they died, like her dad. And Sven.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
It's so weird though. Why? Every time somebody
Whatever Milton
died,
had
she
found in
just,
the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
she just sealed up the doors.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Imagine having this house. This is incredible. Sit up here in a little swing chair and just chill. So
Lewis's room smelled
Looks
very,
like chill.
very familiar. That part of him lived on.
If you know what I mean. Likes to chill. Play some Wonderland Turbo and smoke a little bit. So neat.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Here we go. Let's find out what happened to Lewis.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
What happened to my hand?
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Began to what?
wander.
Oh!
I asked him to describe it.
Am I playing Diablo right now? Oh man,
He
this
said
is,
he started
this
small,
is gonna be difficult.
imagining a labyrinth.
What's this way? I'm like walking with the left stick,
He'd feel his way
chopping
about.
fish with the right stick.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
It's like hard to pay attention to what's going on the left and grab the fish.
I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Oh,
I worried about
weird.
him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss,
More fish.
but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Right? Like a machine. paying attention.
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Hello, doggy. Come, adventure awaits.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Tokyo. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Okay. Duh.
He held an election for mayor. And he won.
But your princess is in another
They
castle.
begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Oh, my work's backing up.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
And he's not full of himself at all, is he?
He started drifting away from our reality.
Turn the boat.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Minneapolis. Now you're
Even as his
stretching it.
mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Let's go. Handsome queen.
handsome queen.
Handsome. I like how the mountains have words on them. Pages.
The queen was on her own quest for
Sinister serpents, radiant rainbows. Let's go. Radiant rainbows.
radiant rainbows.
Ah. Radiant. Oh, killed that one.
He followed the sound of her
This boat is so hard to... Electric sitar. Hell yeah.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Oh no. Work is backing up. It's crazy how the graphics of the game
He was
start to
so
get better.
proud of having created it.
Okay. It's me. Oh, there it goes.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
That was weird. Little hiccup. Must have been like a loading screen.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
I always like when there's a big gate and then a tiny door for you to go through. Oh. I just watched Hunter X Hunter, however you want to say it, and the big giant gates at the tiny door. Why? Oh, he's got like a little switch before the switch was a thing.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Got stuck on the gut bin.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
I like those guys. Wave their hands back and forth.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
What happened to Grandma? I believe she's the last one we need.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
It was like the first room we've been in where it's been like disheveled.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
90th birthday. Good for you. It's
What
like
happened that
everyone-
night had been coming for a long time.
Really? It's like every other room has been like preserved. except for
Maybe I
that
should have
one.
come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now was to tell you about that last night.
Oh, you got like the little guys from the kingdom. And in her other room there was like the shark. The deer. Frog. House.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Playing now? Where am I? It's so dark.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
If I could ever build my own house and have like infinite money, it would have like little secret passages and all sorts of cool stuff.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
It's like
We'll have the
everyone's
nursing
dead.
home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Everyone except for Edith and her mother, I'm assuming. And Milton, whatever the hell happened to Milton.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Uh-oh. I just messed up. I was walking, and then I spun around. Now I'm really lost.
I got turned around.
What is this, a rock? Like I thought maybe when she said I got turned around,
I started seeing things.
the light would have been in a different spot, and then I totally lost my way.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
She really likes hand wraps.
We both tried to make the
warmers.
best of it.
Oh.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
What's happening right now?
But now I hope you'll never see it.
Are you being birthed?
I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
She died too? Good lord. really are cursed. And that was What Remains of Edith Finch. I liked it. I've been wanting to play this game for a long time, and it's finally on Game Pass. If you enjoyed it, you should play through it too. I thought it was pretty damn good. Sad. Very sad, but... And what, it's only about... thank you for the sparks. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's only about 114 minutes. That's how long I've been streaming. So it's a short game, but it's pretty damn good. I got an achievement. Everything ends. Finish all the stories. I appreciate the follow also. I appreciate you just being here watching. There was like probably 10 minutes of game beforehand that I wasn't streaming. That's just because I didn't know I wanted to stream it. But it's just basically getting to the house and then a little bit of setup. You didn't miss much, but it's got another achievement too. I don't know what that one said. I went by really quickly. See Jonah's name in the ending credits. Thanks, Jonah. Joanne, not Jonah. And like I said at the beginning, this stream will also be going up on the YouTube channel. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe button. I really appreciate it. You help out the channel, you help out me, support my family when you do that. So subscribing doesn't mean you get any junk mail or anything. You just, you support me. And if you choose to have notifications on, you'll get a notification every time I'm streaming or playing a game or uploading a video. So I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said before, it is on Game Pass, which I think you can get for like $1 for a month. You can play this game in a little over an hour. So yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching. I guess that's all I have to say about it. Depressing. Not really depressing though. It's good. It's very good. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for one of my live streams. And I appreciate you. Be good to yourself and be good to others. See you later.